Hey, good. Can you see me? Okay. Well, anyway, someone just drove their car backwards to see what the heck I was doing. Why did he do that? I don't know. But anyway, he's gone now. Weirdo. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Um, can you all hear me clearly? Let me know, please. It's me, Ari Dawes. You can just call me Rashid, as you already know. I put my glove over here to stabilize the smartphone. Hold on. Wait. You can all hear me clearly? Let me know, please. Let me know whether you can hear me clearly or not. Okay, that's good. Now, understand the following. This live stream should not even exist. This live stream should not even exist. But the fact I have to make this live stream for those that need it already shows that things are quite off with a lot of believers. There is one thing believers often do, and that is they brush off or even ignore their natural instincts. Let me repeat that. There are believers ignoring their natural instincts. Okay, when you walk outside without a coat and the temperature is low, what happens? Your skin is getting upset. Your skin begins to warm itself up, you get goosebumps, but you still feel the cold. So what happens? You go inside, you put on a coat. If you walk outside and it's a bit hot, you take off your shirt or whatever. Don't strip naked, but I get you get what I mean. Oh, I see Ava is here, Sunshine is here, Diane's here, Joanna is here. Hi, Joanna. Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry. Maria Garcia is here. John Wonder is here. The rest is here. Please support yourself here in the live chat too. Thank you very much. Look, your body is designed in such a way to keep you healthy and stable. Anytime there's something that is disharm that becomes disharming to your body gives off a symptom. If you're if you ate too much sugar, you're gonna notice it in your body. If you didn't drink enough water, you get thirsty. If you didn't eat enough food, you're going to become hungry. If you didn't have enough sleep, you will notice it in your body. Something's off. So our body has a natural, intelligent design to keep us functional. Now, the body is just our physical extension. It's not who we really are. It's just an extension of us. It's part of us. It's not who we are. As a spirit being with a physical extension called the human body, you have natural instincts that are divided in bodily instincts as well as spirit instincts. The reason I don't call it spiritual instincts because it's part of our natural design. Look, anytime anyone ignores natural instincts, they put themselves and others at risk. If you're in a building and suddenly you smell smoke, what's the first thing you do? You check around what's burning. If people are smoking in the background, you wouldn't matter. The best thing, the smoke from cigarettes, it smells different than just common smoke. If you smell common smoke, it's not smoke from cigarettes, you think, okay, there's not a cigarette that's burning over here. Something is off. You're going to check what's going on. What if you ignore it? Say, I don't want to deal with it. Listen, if you say, I don't want to deal with it, you're still smelling the smoke, and that smoke's going to annoy you. So you have to do something about it. But let's say you have people who put on a face mask just so they don't have to smell the smoke. And later they found out the whole building is burning. Who's at fault if they die? They are, because they ignored their natural instinct to check what goes on. Now, when it comes to believers, all right, explain this to you. Too many of us believers, we act dumb, seriously. And the rest of the world's looking at us thinking, how come believers are so dumb? Listen, if your natural instinct alerts you to slow down, why don't you slow down? Now, let me give an example. If you have a dog, let's say the dog picks up a weird smell. What does the dog do? The dog becomes alert, check what goes on. The dog even crawl into the direction where the smell is coming from. For those who have pets, in this case dogs, you know very well when a dog picks up a weird smell, the dog is alert in on it. The dog is not ignore it. The dog doesn't do that. Let's say you have a cat. If a stranger walks to your house and the cat feels uncomfortable, the cat will show it. I mean, even in nature, when a zebra feels a bit off, the zebra moves away because later it can be that there was a lion nearby. So animals, I don't talk about human beings or animals. We're just physical creatures. Animals are not spirit beings, they're just physical creatures. Even animals were living physical decorations that God made. Even they sense things ahead of time if something is off. How come then they're human beings, in this case even believers, who don't notice anything? It is because we were taught, oh, we're going to heaven anyway, just brush it off, go to church every Sunday, and wait for heaven. This going to heaven bullshit has formed so many believers that we are of no good in daily life. Many of us. Many believers are of no good in daily life because they're so focused on heaven, a place they will never go to. Listen, I'm making this live stream because some of you need this wake up call. Jesus is not coming down to rescue you. He's not going to stand he's not going to send Gabriel, nor Michael, nor Raphael to come down and rescue you. If your natural instinct hints to your situation is dangerous or it's becoming toxic, leave the situation. Don't sit there and pray, Heavenly Father, what to do, or pray God to help you. Listen, you know what to do. Get out of the situation. Simple as that. If you have a husband that keeps beating you over and over again, and he fakes that he wants solutions, he goes into therapy but doesn't comply with therapy, listen, you're dealing with a man who thinks okay to beat you. So he thinks okay to endanger you. At some point, he will do it in front of other people too. At some point, he will beat you so hard you end up in a hospital. You may end up paralyzed or damaged, physically damaged for life. You may end up dying also. And if you have children, your children are in danger too. So if the man lay hands on you the first time, that's enough for you to leave. If you decide to stay, the man must go into therapy and there must be proof of improvement. If there's no proof of improvement, why are you still there? If it goes wrong, it's on you. It goes wrong because you kept yourself in a bad situation. Some women find out that their boyfriend they're with end up molest their daughter. And then in a court of law, they have tears in their eyes, say, Your Honor, I had no idea my boyfriend was doing this. And the judge asking him, Ma'am, you didn't notice anything off about your boyfriend? No, he was such a sweet guy, this and that. And just asking, Ma'am, this guy is a predator. He molested your daughter. Don't tell me you didn't pick up anything off about him, man. Well, let me tell you, in a court of law, they don't play games. They stick to the facts. And I'm telling you one thing. Anytime you ignore a warning signal you pick up with your mind and with your body, just because you don't want to cause trouble or you don't want to be bothered, you are endangering yourself and other people. This bad situation is now on you too. It's not all on you, but it's on you too because you're a part of it. Simple as that. Listen, Jesus is not going to send holy angels to come down and rescue you for a situation he already told you to walk away from. Listen, Jesus doesn't even have to tell you that. If you are in a situation that becomes a bit toxic or it's turning sour, get out of the situation in a peaceful way. Simple as that. Even unbelievers understand this. But now you have believers who they stick in bad situations for years and still asking still asking God to help them. Even the demons are thinking, is this believer really that mentally ill? They don't realize that they didn't even have to ask God for help for this. They could have just used their human brain and get out of the situation. Look, believers often go through unnecessary trouble and unnecessary tragedy because we don't examine things. Look, when you pick up something When you pick up a warning signal with your mind or with your body, it's on you to start an investigation and what you picked up. Listen, if you feel uncomfortable, that doesn't mean that something automatically is wrong with other people. It can also be that your own expectations are wrong. In this case, you do your investigation, you realize, you know what, I was off. My bad. I repent. It's over. If it's not you, that means that something out there is off. You need to investigate what goes on. How many believers do proper investigations in daily life? Not many. Because if they did, believers wouldn't be in the condition they are today. Look, this live stream doesn't have to be that long. My live streams are around 1 hour often. I can end the live stream in just a few minutes also. I just want to tell you tonight, you need to stop ignoring your natural instincts. Look, if you listen, if you have a metal detector and go out to a field, let's say you have a big field, a plot of land, and go with your metal detector. When the metal detector goes off, it means it detected metal. You don't know whether it's gold, silver, or tin, or iron, or bronze. You know what it is. You just know it's metal. What do you do now? You pick up a shovel and you dig to find out what's down there in the ground. You can't walk around with your metal detector and the sound goes up. Like, oh, I found some rings. You don't know. You have to dig to find out what it is. Remember, you dig and found it's just a spoon and not a ring or anything like that. So what I'm saying is, just like when you use a metal detector, the alarm, the sound goes off when it detects metal in the ground. You still have to dig in the ground to find out what type of metal it is. The same this with your natural instincts. Don't just operate based on feelings or based on your first impression. Your first impression can be wrong. If you pick up something off, do your investigation. Or if the investigation is hard for you, ask others about what they think about the situation too. Because we're social creatures. What shouldn't pick up, someone else may pick up. Let me ask you one question and just answer it honestly in the live chat. Really. How many of you ended up in a dangerous, I'm not talking about saying something uncomfortable. I'm talking about how many of you end up in a dangerous situation. Then later you realize, you know what, I could have easily avoided this if I just would have paid close attention. How many of you have been through that? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. How many of you have been through that? You end up in a dangerous situation, and afterwards you realize, man, I could have easily avoided. I've avoided all of that if I just would have been more alert. How many of you have been through this? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. Okay. One individual did. What about the rest? And okay, when you look back on those situations, there's one thing you will always have to admit to yourself is that you were lazy. You didn't want to be bothered. You wanted to be left alone. This want to be left alone, this laziness it's kept you in danger. Maybe it's an ex-boyfriend you used to be involved with. And you later think, why the F was I was even involved with this guy? Right now you think about the guy, you almost have to throw up. Think, what the heck was I doing? It's because back then you were a bit lonely or you went through some difficult time and the guy appeared, gave you comfort, and you thought, okay, let me just entertain for a while. You did pick up something's off about the situation, but you thought, hey, the guy's giving me comfort, he's giving me good sex, so you know what? It's comfort, let me stay here. And you ended up becoming part of something that later destroyed you. The moment you notice something's a bit off with this guy, talk to his friends, talk to his family, do some research about him to find out what is going on. You didn't because you thought, hey, I get comfort. I go to parties with him. I go on weekends out with him. I He gives me good sex, whatever. Even my friends like him. You look at all the comforts around you, and you then look at the context. If you would have checked the context, you would have realized immediately this whole thing is off. Same with you guys. So I'm not going to be hard on the women here. I'm talking about you guys too. A lot of you guys ended up either in prison or you ended up losing your job or homeless or you went through a lot of trouble because you hung out the wrong crowd. Either there were friends you had to leave or you were with a woman you should never have been with. And in all those cases, you'll have to admit there was some point you were lazy. And this laziness, this I want to be left alone. I want to be bothered. That's why people, as well as communities, go through trauma and hardship over and over again. This procrastination, as they call it, is just self-neglect. Anytime you delay doing what you can do now, just because you don't want to, you're actually neglecting yourself and other people. Because you don't have the certainty you'll have another opportunity to do it again. If you can say hi to one of your friends today, why aren't you doing it? Why are you waiting? Let me say hi tomorrow, this evening. The evening you don't do it. Few days pass by, you still haven't said hi to them. And other visual things, well, I haven't heard from you for days. Oh, I was just tired, I'm just procrastinating. They don't take on a minute. You don't, it only takes a few seconds to say hi to me on WhatsApp, whatever. What goes on? And don't you know that a lot of friendships, even relationships, break because of that, because of procrastination? It happens. It happens because a lot of people simply do not do what they should be doing right now. I mean, look, if you if you're in an if let's say you're looking outside of your window and you see there's someone around your car acting suspicious, are you going to wait or are you going to just call the cops immediately? You are going to call the cops immediately, as you should, right? Because listen, if someone's around your car acting a bit witch, maybe they're drunk and think it's their car, but it's not their car. That can be the case. Or maybe they try to steal your car. You don't know. The fact that act suspicious around your car, you're going to open your window and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Are you going to wait and procrastinate? Look at what goes on. No, no, you wouldn't. I mean, if the fire alarm goes off at work, are you going to procrastinate? Say, "Nah, I'm not going to wake up and leave the building. I don't want to right now." No, you do it immediately. Because if you don't, the firefighters will come and evict you from that, and you'll be in trouble with your employer. People that procrastinate, they don't procrastinate when it comes to things that give them ease, whether it's buying tickets to go to parties, going to concerts, or whether it's meeting up with um, some significant other, or whether it comes to watching movies or playing video games, whatever. People that procrastinate, they never procrastinate when it comes to things that give them ease. Because procrastination is simply you refusing obligations in the present. It's very simply what it is. By refusing obligation, you actually are saying, I don't want to deal with reality. Reality, get out. I just want to be left alone. But let me tell you, anytime you do that, you don't have certainty. You can do what you have to do tomorrow. Maybe maybe you had to apply for a job. And you think, you know what, I'm gonna do it later. Why don't you do it right now? I feel a bit tired. Okay, listen, maybe 2 hours from now you apply for the job, but by the time you apply for the job, already 50 other people applied before you within those 2 hours. And now because there are 50 people in front of you, you're not likely to get a job anymore. So that opportunity of getting the job was right there when you found the job online. You didn't do it because you procrastinated. You applied 2 hours later, and because of that, you missed on the job. Simple as that. I mean, what if the ambulance would procrastinate arriving? If you call, let's say someone just had a heart attack and called the ambulance. And let's say the ambulance employee starts, you know what, let's wait for a little while. We're a bit tired, so we don't want to set up now. The ambulance would arrive 2 hours later, the individual is dead. What if the police would procrastinate? If you would call and say, my boyfriend wants to kill me, he has a knife. What if police would procrastinate? You'll be dead then. So procrastination, we would never tolerate it from certain people in certain positions because we know if they would procrastinate, they're actually neglecting us, and we're the ones suffering the consequences. So why is it okay for you to procrastinate just because you don't want to deal with things? You should be the safest and best version of that you can be today. If you know you have bad habits, if you know that you have a horrible attitude and you need to improve, improve today. Every day you stay in dysfunction is a day wasted, and it's a day that ends up bringing harm and contribute to harm to other people. If you're dysfunctional, admit you're dysfunctional, admit you need help, and look for improvement now, today. Because If you decide, you know what, I'm not going to therapy right now. I'm not going to change this right now. I'm not going to break with that toxic boyfriend or girlfriend right now. No, no. Anytime you procrastinate doing what you should be doing, means contributing to your own long term well being. You're actually neglecting yourself, and you keep yourself in a bad condition, and that bad condition will be an opening for evil to take place. If you're dysfunctional and you want to face it, you're actually contributing to what goes wrong in the community because you keep yourself in a bad state. By keeping yourself in a bad state, you are withholding better from your community. By withholding better, you actually harm your community. As simple as that. So do not ignore your natural instincts. Don't go off on emotions and feelings. Don't do that either. But when you have a warning signal, pay attention to it. Don't procrastinate acting on your natural instincts. Don't do that. Do not delay, or as they would say with a fancy word, procrastinate when you pick up something with your natural instincts. Don't do that. Don't do that. Absolutely not. When you do that, it's on you when things go wrong. It's not only on you, but it's also on you. All right. So that's all I had to say for this live stream. It's a reminder and a warning to all of you. Don't procrastinate. Don't delay things you should be doing today. Don't come with excuses why you don't do today what should be doing today. Don't delay for later what you can do now. Because I'm telling you, a lot of believers do this, and because that they miss out on blessings, they miss out on solutions, and by them missing out, the community around them will miss out too. Some believers, their children end up dying tragically before their time. Why? Because they neglect to teach their children about the protection in Christ. They're not even walking in the protection themselves, keep delaying it. And now the children never had the good example of how to operate in the protection of Christ. The children also don't know about how the spiritual world works, and because of the lack of understanding, bad things happen to children and some of them die. And then they're crying, saying, "Oh, in church they say, oh, God needed them, or God had a different plan." No, God's plan was for you, the parents, to walk in power, so the children would experience the resurrection part of Christ. They would walk into, they would live long lives. But because you, the parents, were neglectful towards yourself and your children, now your children were able to be taken out so easily. Simple as that. I'm not here to point the finger at people. I'm just here to mention facts. If I would have procrastinate, or if I would have delayed acting my instincts, I wouldn't be here today making this live stream. I would have been dead a long time ago. So, if that would have happened, you would have missed out on this ministry. That would have benefited and changed your life. Amen. So, before I close down the live stream, are there any questions about this topic? Let me know now. So I'm about to make some phone calls soon. But first, are there any questions? Let me know. All right. So I didn't get any questions. I'm going to close down the live now. Thank you all for being here. Agree with Christ. And I'll see you next time in next live stream. Be at peace. God is good all the time.